There's a Filipino-Canadian nurse who started making funny skits about nursing on TikTok.
Hey, Mr. Smith.
Oh, hey, darling. What's up?
Anything you need from me?
No, don't bother. I got myself. I don't need you.
Okay, well.
Now he's touring the country with a sold-out comedy show. He's partnered up with a scrub company. His name is Nurse John, and he might be one of the highest paid nurses on the internet. So I'm going to ask ChatGPT, Claude, Grok, and Google's Gemini to figure out how much he's really made from TikTok, YouTube, and every other social media platform, brand deals, ticket sales, and all of it. So let's see what they have to say. Let's start with ChatGPT. The first one is going to be a really long prompt. I'm going to have to really be specific here. So the first one we're going to ask is ChatGPT, and let's see what they have to say. I'm going to copy and paste this just so I can copy this in every other AI platform. And let's go to Grok and see what Grok has to say in the meantime. Here we go. The first one is going to be TikTok. Okay, TikTok earnings. Nurse John has over 7 million TikTok followers and 178 million likes as of January 2025. He actually has about 8 million at this point, I believe. Let me just see if I can find that. Yeah, so 8.1 million on TikTok. So it's not 100% accurate because it's going based off figures that are like 7 months ago, 8 months ago. I actually think that most of his videos are less than a minute long. So he's probably not making as much as Grok is estimating here. So we have $3,337,500 in TikTok earnings since starting in May 2020. The annual estimate over 5.25 years averages to $635,714 per year. All right, let's talk about merchandise sales. So Nurse John sells merchandise, hoodies, t-shirts, accessories, so on and so forth. The merchandise pricing, typical influencer merchandise includes t-shirts, which are $20 to $40, hoodies $40 to $80, and accessories $10 to $30. Assuming average prices of $30 for t-shirts, $60 for hoodies, and $15 for accessories, with 12 million followers, even if he only has a 1% conversion rate, is going to yield about 120,000 customers. Assuming 50% buy t-shirts, 30% buy hoodies, and 20% buy accessories, the total merch profit comes up to $2,592,000 over the course of the last 5 years. So the annual estimate brings this up to $518,400 per year. All right, now let's go over the partnership that he has with Garde-Malade, which is a scrub company. So Nurse John partners up with Garde-Malade, a Quebec-based scrub company, to promote their products. Partnerships typically involve flat fees, commissions, or revenue sharing, and the partnership structure is going to look like this. Influencers with Nurse John's following can command $10,000 to $50,000 per sponsored post, or a long-term deal that's worth $100,000 to $500,000 annually, depending on deliverables like videos, posts, appearances, which he does a lot of for Garde-Malade. So the total amount that he would have earned over the last 3 years from this partnership is about $900,000. Now let's go over sponsored videos for other brands, not including Garde-Malade. Assuming he has 5 to 10 sponsored posts per year across platforms like TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, at $20,000 per post is $750,000. He also has skincare partnerships, assuming a similar structure of Garde-Malade, which is $100,000 annual deal plus a 10% commission on $200,000 in sales. That's a total of $240,000 from the skincare partnership. If you add that up to the other $750,000 that he would have made from the other sponsorships, it's a total of $990,000. Now let's go over to his most recent endeavor, the Short Staff Tour. Nurse John's comedy tour, the Short Staff Tour, began in 2024 and extended into 2025, with many of his shows being sold out. Assuming 40 total shows by August 2025, 32 in 2024 plus 8 in 2025, ticket sales range anywhere from $35 to $209.25 for VIP. And assuming an average ticket price of $60, which is weighted toward the lower end of tickets, and 1,000 attendees per show, for a total of $2,400,000 in gross revenue. Let's talk about profit margins when you're doing these shows. After venue fees are 20%, production costs are around 20%, and management fees are are about 10%. So the net profit is around 50% or 1.2 million. VIP tickets are $209.25. And these include meet and greets and signed merchandise. Assuming 10% of attendees or 100 per show buy these VIP tickets, that's 4,000 VIP tickets, which is equal to $597,000 in additional revenue. So the total tour earnings between 2024 and 2025 is $1,617,900. Now let's talk about the total gross revenue. TikTok earnings, $3,337,500. Merchandise sales, $2,592,000. Guard Malad partnership, $900,000. Sponsored videos, $990,000. And short staff tour, $1,617,900, which comes up to a total of $9,437,400. And this is between the years of 2020 and 2025. Now let's talk about some other expenses. The total expenses are $4,474,100, which brings his net worth estimate, if you take most of his net earnings, at $4,474,100. This is where I think there are limits to what AI can do, because he does not own a home as far as I'm aware. We can't even estimate his net worth properly, so I'm just gonna get rid of this one altogether. Let's go to the other AI platforms. First one being ChatGPT. And I'm gonna run through this one much quicker than I did with Grok. So TikTok ad revenue, $84,000 in the last 12 months. I think that's pretty low compared to what Grok has given us. Grok said that he made 3.37 million over the last 5 years. That's about $635,000 annually. YouTube ad revenue, he's making about $60,000 over the last 12 months. Sponsorships and paid integrations, which excludes Guard Malad, $120,000 over the last 12 months. Then we have Guard Malad's partnership, $70,000. I think ChatGPT is really lowballing it. I'll give you an example. So I made a sponsored video in my channel, actually 2 of them in the past, where these companies reached out to me and wanted me to mention them for a few seconds in a video and paid me $5,000 for mentioning them in those few seconds. I know for a fact that Nurse John is making a lot more than what ChatGPT is saying over here. Merchandise, $126,000 net. So Grok is saying that he made 2.5 million over the last 5 years, which is anywhere from $600,000 to $800,000 annually. That's much higher than what ChatGPT has estimated. And then we have the live shows. So again, ChatGPT is saying that he's selling his tickets between $35 and $49, has not even considered the VIP ticket sales. And the gross annual income or revenue from these ticket sales, as per ChatGPT, is 1.35 million. Now, let's roll this up and see how much he's made in total. So pre-tax, it's $831,000. If you look at how much he could potentially earn on the lower end and the higher end, then ChatGPT is going to say $450,000 on the low end per year and 1.2 million to 1.6 million per year on the high end. I honestly believe that Nurse John is making a lot more than this. And so far, I think that Grok is the closest to what Nurse John is actually making. Now let's look at how much ChatGPT thinks that Nurse John's net worth actually is. And here, ChatGPT says it's anywhere between $900,000 and $1.5 million. Net worth is really hard to estimate. If you don't know what people own, you don't know their investment accounts, you don't know their stock portfolio, their real estate portfolio, then you're not going to be able to determine exactly how much their net worth is. And as far as I'm aware, I believe that Nurse John is renting in LA. I don't think he bought a home yet, but if I'm incorrect, you guys can correct me in the comment section below. Okay, let's go to Claude. And with Claude, let's see exactly how much Claude believes that Nurse John is earning. So let's talk about the total annual calculation. I'm going to zoom in for this one. With the TikTok creator rewards, $360,000. Instagram, Facebook sponsorships, $480,000. The comedy tour, $3 million. Merchandise, $875,000. Guard Malad partnership, $300,000. Podcast, $150,000. Sponsorships, $500,000. And the Philly skin sponsorship, $300,000. The total estimated gross revenue is $5,965,000. I think that's in the middle of the range between Grok, ChatGPT, and Claude, because Grok gave us the highest estimate at like 9.4 million, and then ChatGPT was way under this value. The estimated net worth that Claude is giving us is anywhere between 2.5 million and $4 million. All right, last one. Let's go over to Gemini, which is Google's AI model. Gemini estimates that he has over 8.1 million followers on TikTok, which is more accurate than Grok. It also estimates that he has 774,000 subscribers on YouTube, and he has multiple avenues for monetization. The way that Gemini has broken it down is completely different than every other AI model we've used so far, because it hasn't actually laid out every single point of revenue that he earns, not giving us an accurate analysis. But it says one analytics platform estimates his monthly YouTube earnings could be between 33,300 and 99,800. So it's just giving us a range right now of what it's found from multiple other sources. And I think the one that's been the most accurate, and if I would have done these calculations myself, I would have probably gotten close to Grok. So if you guys agree with these estimates, which one of these AI models do you think is the most accurate? Do you even think they came close? And if you want me to do videos like this in the future, please let me know in the comments section below. Also, if you want to download our app that allows you as a nurse to be able to compare the salaries in your current city to salaries in other cities and the cost of living of those other cities, we have over 1,000 cities in our app. Click on the link in the description below this video and you're going to be able to download our app that's going to allow you to do all of that. All right, so I'll see you guys on the next one.